And he owns the independent freight dispatching business as well. So basically, we'll be talking about the process, how he started. He got some customers. He will be sharing, some tips and tactics and strategies with you guys. It will be amazing. You guys watching on YouTube and at the same time on the Facebook group. So if you have questions, please have some questions at the end. And let's get started. So since this is the case study, guys, one of the reasons why we want to do this is because there are a lot of people want to start this business, meaning independent freight dispatching business. But at the same time, they maybe you guys started already, but then you're trying to get customers, but you don't know how. Even though we shared, some of the strategies, but here is Oz. He's done it. He has a couple of carriers that he serves. So let's get started. And Oz, why don't you, mention your name and start with your background? Tell us more about yourself and all.
Sure. My name is Agaz, and I live in Canada. I immigrated from India in 2015, and I did my studies. Then I did my certified international trade professional from Forum for International Trade. And yeah, this is a little bit about me. And I also obtained pretty good experience in corporate field, and I did masters in logistics, and I ended up getting into dispatching. And this is something I learned from Kamal course. And yes, that's where I am right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So one clarification is,
Uh-huh.
since we're doing this case study, people will be like, okay, come on, more about like, the pitching the program. But what it's all about is, guys, bringing more value to you. So we have these Q&A calls on, Tuesdays and Fridays for, like to our subscribers or to our audience. But this is more of a like, hey, here's is a person, is a real person who done it. He implemented the strategies and tactics that we taught, and he just executed on these strategies and he got customers. And I just want him to share his experience with you guys. Okay. So that's cool. And let's talk about like, so now you are an independent freight dispatcher, but tell us a little bit about your target audience. Like, who do you serve specifically?
At the moment, my target audience is car haulers, and that's who I serve because I understand the market pretty well, and it's pretty interesting market. So I enjoy working with the car haulers at the moment.
Awesome. So there are a lot of people going into, let's say, drive-in market and then let's say reefer market or flatbed
Mhm.
market. But you picked and there's a one the market as well that many of our students going into is the box truck market. But you specifically chose going into the car hauling market. Like, why is so specific? Why you want to go with car haulers, even though we have a lot of amazing markets to serve?
Right. So, well, I believe that each market has its own pros and cons, first of all, and I wouldn't say like any market is not perfect, right? So, talking about car, why I chose car hauler, because this is first, as I said, I love serving I enjoy working with the cars, and that's something I'm very passionate about. And secondly, talking about the other markets, it is good, but again, if I go specifically each one by one, it will be quite longer. I want to make it short and concise. I would say, um, talking about the box truck, reefer, and dry vans. These three markets are good, but I wouldn't say like there's a huge competition in all these three markets. And at one point of time, you will see there are a lot of trucks than the loads available in the market. So it gets harder for the dispatcher as seeing their time putting into the finding loads for them. So I would say that's the only sole reason I chose this market, car hauling.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk about the process of becoming an independent freight dispatcher. There are a lot of people out there, they're using different type of processes to becoming an independent freight dispatcher. For example, one of them is watching YouTube videos constantly, taking notes, learning. But my third question is, like, before joining the up level coaching program, so I wanted to ask this, like, what was your process of becoming an independent freight dispatcher?
Okay, I want to be very honest for this answer. Like how I thought about this is I was literally working at one of my full-time corporate job, and I wanted to quit that, and I was looking something on a side. So I found one dispatching course in Canada, which was just for 1 week, and I didn't find it that helpful. Reason behind 1 week, I wouldn't say you'll be able to learn everything or anything. So, and that was not specifically focusing on the dispatching side of business. It was more of a carrier side of business, like how you want to dispatch for yourself as carrier, which is quite impossible. So I got very confused taking that coaching. I did my research, and I found Kamal Dispatch. And first, I watched his YouTube videos a lot, and from there on, I found a lot of great value. And I literally feel like this is something which is like not anybody else is providing, with the clarity of speech. That's really important when you can understand what others are talking about, or what other person, your coach, is telling you. That's something where your mind says, okay, I want to hear more. So each and every single video, I wanted to go more in detail. And I ended up purchasing his course.
Okay.
And right
So
after that, uh-huh.
yeah, so tell us this. You said there is the program that you were in, but that company taught you
Yeah,
or actually teaches people
yeah.
how to become a carrier,
Hmm.
then under his authority,
Hmm.
build a business, meaning independent freight dispatching business. But what we teach is different. We said, no, I think this was like, it caught your interest because we're not teaching people like buy trucks or get your
Like,
MC, get your DOT, and then start
yeah.
dispatching. Where actually you can dispatch without your MC number, without the DOT number, and without purchasing any trucks. Is that right?
Exactly. That's totally right. That's 100% right. And I heard many people asking this question out of this, like a coaching, or among my peers too. Like they feel like they need even my carriers, the carrier who I work with, even they are not aware. Like they still think that I do have an MC, and that's how I am able to dispatch them. But until or unless I wouldn't have watched Kamal's course or his videos, I wouldn't be having this knowledge of understanding, like we can run a dispatching business without having MC or DOT number, and which is like an eye-opening experience. To be honest, it was such
Awesome.
a amazing experience for me.
Awesome. Cool, cool. So guys, I see that, questions coming in. So we'll have a Q&A at the end of the case study. So please prepare your questions. If you wanted to ask question to us, if you wanted to ask question to me, please get ready with your questions. We'll come back to your questions. So let's move on, Oz. You're doing
Okay.
well. And let's talk about the how would you describe your process of becoming an independent freight dispatcher in one sentence. Just
Okay. In one sentence.
you
Okay.
can have two sentences. It's okay, but just describe the process.
I would say easy, but easy to understand, hard to implement. That's how I want to. And if I would explain this, what I meant is like when you listen anyone talking about something or his experiences, for example, you as a coach, it sounds pretty easy. It sounds like, oh yes, we can do it. Oh yes, we can do it. But the it needs a lot of motivation, dedication. It needs a lot of focus, right? Because I believe we all have situations where we all are working for money, right? And in the beginning, while you're establishing something, what I would say, for the first few months, don't we cannot expect any income, because when we're just investing, you're putting money into it. It's especially your time as well, which is way more than the money you earn in the beginning in any business, right? So considering this dispatching business, the process I learned was like from you, it was easy to actually finish the course. Even within 2 to 3 days I finished my course. And because it was pretty easy to understand, easy to go through, and I feel like after I watched your videos on YouTube, and then going straight to your YouTube sorry course, up level dispatching, and that was pretty fast, because I know what you are talking about now, and that gave me a speed up to understand. And I just wanted to build my business now. There was a time like I feel like, oh, slow down. I have to like go easy, go slow. But I don't think it's a smart idea to for me. I'm just talking about myself. I don't know about others. But yeah, so I just wanted to jump into it without having any second thought. because I'm saving. I don't have need to have an MC. I don't need to have a truck to start this business. I don't need any other big equipments or big investment. Just few bucks, and with that, I can start my pitching my services, right, and get expertise in one market, as you taught. So that's pretty much, I believe.
Awesome, awesome. So,
Mhm.
us here's the deal. When you say,
Mhm.
I completed the course within a couple of days, and
Yeah,
obviously, what you mean is that you watched these pre-recorded videos and all the steps you need to take to create an LLC, and you get familiar with the terminologies and know ins and outs of the load board, whatnot. So that is that. But the actual coaching starts when you complete the course and come back to
exactly.
the Q and A's or the live coaching calls. This is where you taking what I would say, where you implementing what you've learned, right? This is why it takes time. But I really like the way you said it. You said, don't expect maybe 2 months or 3 months like revenue coming in into your business. Why? Because you're building a business. This is very important point, and I'm glad you brought up, because it's not about just a course. You watch it and then, oh, I know how to dispatch, let me go and find a carrier and start dispatching his trucks. But it's not about that. It's like, okay, you're learning a new skill, it takes time, right? And on top of that, you're learning business aspect of it. So we're kind of combining these together. It's very important. You have the skill, but now you need to create a business so that this business can sell your service. This is very important, and it takes time. It can take, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 months. But and obviously, and you also said it, that it all depends on a person. So
Hmm.
if you don't have like a full-time job, you can get there really quickly. This is
Yeah.
why we named this coaching program as a 5-week program, right? So it shouldn't take you more than that to learn, but in implementing, it will take some time to get there. Awesome, awesome. So, I know you face some challenges. I want to talk about the challenges you faced during this, like coaching, and then obviously start implementing and getting your first, customer. So, what were the specific challenges you faced becoming independent freight dispatcher? Let's talk about your challenges.
Okay. The first challenge I faced was implementation. Was the first very scary part, because as it was, everything was, I would say, altered in a way where it's very organized when you do trainings, right? So your training, and I just what I did was, it was even hard to, when I watched everything, it was pretty easy. Again, when I start implementing, that I found a little bit time consuming. Not a little bit, a lot of it needs a lot of time, because then you when you are writing things, I don't know how many times I come back to you asking questions on Facebook or somewhere, just try to approach you to ask, hey, if I'm
Mostly
doing right.
live coaching calls.
Exactly. So through that, like, so challenges. The major challenge I faced was like how to find a first client, right? That was really hard to do in the beginning, because when you have everything set up, and then you need a client. But even before I reached to that point, the entire process, like establishing your LLC, and getting your setup, home office set up, plus getting your like space enough, like where you feel comfortable talking to your clients, and feel comfortable talking to anyone, right? So yeah, in the beginning, it was like quite challenging, and then it comes to the next part was, now I have an email campaign set up. Now I have everything set up. Now clients are even people are calling me, or people are approaching me through emails. So in the beginning, well, it wasn't hard for me to communicate with them, not at all. It just went pretty smooth. The hardest part was, how should I find my first client? So when I was asking this question to myself, I rewatched your videos, and I implemented a strategy of email marketing, right? And then people start approaching me. When I get people, now I wanted, the another challenge came up was how to make them sign up with me. I trust me, no matter how many things you get from others, and or from anyone from you in the course, I've tried to, like, the first I just used it the same as it was. For example, the contracts, agreements, right? I used for my career to sign up, but I added some things which made them very confusing, and confused them, and that was another challenge for me to explain them what it means. So for example, like I added in a contract like some some other statements like a weekly charge, this charge, that charge, and they're like, what are you talking about? Just tell us one thing which we discussed, and let's keep there, keep stick to it. So
Right.
then I come back to Kamal and I told him this is what I'm facing these days. So Kamal explained pretty well that just focus on one thing and keep yourself limited to one so that people don't get confused. And as Mr. Kamal said very well, confused mind don't buy. So yeah, so that was another challenge, like signing up clients. But slowly I figure out everything. I figure out my strategies, and it wouldn't be possible without even implementing any of these strategies with the clients. And I've been very transparent with them by explaining them like this is how I'm going to work, and that's how I'm going to implement different strategies each week, which will give me enough idea that what what way we are working better, because it's really important that I don't want to get in a situation where they are making no money or coming back with a back haul with nothing, no loads. So considering everything, like each day everything is challenging, I believe, and it's just the way to learn is the way to overcome those challenges are just just implement it and learn from it. Even if you do mistakes, it's okay. I've done a lot and I've lost few clients too. It's not like I've been perfect. And I told them we are not the perfect company, and welcome, right? And they join their hands, and it's been pretty well so far. So yeah, that's how I would explain my challenges. That's what I have been like dealing with. So, but I overcome all the challenges by learning, by implementing the different strategies, which helped me to be confident enough to sit here right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, and I hope, you guys learning from, us, experience or experiences that, the one thing is always tell and us know this, that hey, you need to take action. You can watch many videos you want, you can take as many coaching programs or courses you want, but the one main thing is that you need to start implement. And this is why we have these coaching calls every Mondays and Thursday, so to push you, so that let's go and implement. And it feels like when I was starting out, I can relate to my students as like it's not enough information, right? But on the other hand, it's like my brain keeps me like takes me to a safe side. Hey, don't go there, right? Because it's scary, because you need to take a lot of risks. But then it's like, no, I need to talk to carriers and start marketing. And I start talking to carriers. And then I got one, failed it, second, good, third, failed it. And this is how you learn, right? Yes, information is good, but implementation, this is what you need. Awesome. Us, let's talk about, now you face these challenges, you had these, problems before joining the program. So now let's talk about the solution. So what led you to took, or what led you to look for a better way of becoming an independent freight dispatcher? Obviously, better way meaning you were doing something to become an independent freight dispatcher. Then obviously, what led you to, let's say, okay, no, I want to take the better way.
This is how I want to answer this question, like how I found my better way only by experiencing my worst, I wouldn't say worst, but yeah, it was a learning, right? So I learned from my mistakes, and the way I saw dispatching in the, I just knew the word dispatching. I didn't know anything about it, how it
Mhm.
works, what it is about. I just type on Google what it is. I try to understand, because with the one definition, it's not enough to explain everything. But when you dig deep inside it, you find there are many things involved within with just one word, and which doesn't even complete the business itself. So I saw myself in a way, when I was like implementing things, even right now I'm like implementing many different strategies with my carriers, and they're pretty happy letting me do that, because they are open to do that. They want to see how it works for them, because whatever you do, you're not doing for yourself, you are doing for them.
Mhm.
So we never keep ourselves at any point. It's always about them. It's always about you. How, what value we provide in their business, which help them to grow their business, right? Because if they grow, we grow. And so that's how I saw independent freight dispatching as a business, which is all about helping and growing and building up the community where we are like just being together with each other, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell me about this. Like, how long, like, had you been looking
Yeah.
for the solution before you joined the up level dispatching?
Well, I was like, I spent, I would say, as I said, 1 week was my coaching, right? So after that, I put my 1 month entire just to trying to implement what I learned. But I wasn't able to. I was literally like this. I was like, no, I don't know how I'm going to do it because it was pretty confusing. I wasn't aware about like you can perform this. I live in Canada, as I said, right? And you can perform this business for the country called States, USA. Sitting here now, if tomorrow I go somewhere else, I'm still working if I have a number of employees, right? If I have a number of carriers, it's still operating, still helping everyone. So I struggle a bit. I struggle to understand. I watched a lot of videos. I was trying to understand how I can understand entire process of being an independent freight dispatcher. Because from my inside, the little information I got from your videos from YouTube at very first point, I understood a bit that yes, I don't need to have a truck first. Okay, that's the safe point. Second, I don't need to have an MC. Oh, I save more money. Third, I don't need to be in the USA to run a business.
There you go. And you are in Canada.
Exactly. I live in Canada, Toronto, and I don't have to like be in person there, right? And I don't have to meet anyone. It's just phone calls, and that gave me a little bit confidence to actually see what you have there. I don't know how many questions I asked you before even I buy this course, but and I got answered for all the questions pretty well.
Yep.
And so yeah, I took this decision. I bought this course, and right after that course, when you spend money or invest money, then you don't want to wait, right?
There you go.
You want to be damn just like I'm gonna do it. Let me do it, and let's see. So I
Now you
just
have a skin in the game. That's what it
yes,
is.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Now listen, you are in Canada.
Yeah,
And obviously, there are a lot of people asking, like, Kamal, can I do this independent freight dispatching if I'm outside the country? And you are one of the, example of that, right? So
exactly.
now you have carriers in the USA. One of them
Yes.
is in car hauling.
Hmm.
And right before this, we were chatting, and then Oz had a, conversation about, with I think carrier called you, right,
Yes.
and asked about the update. And I was like, wow, now he is a success, right? So he's in Canada. He has a background, marketing background. He educated guy, and he's in Canada, but in a corporate. So he works for somebody, and then he says like, no, I really want to do something else for myself. I want to be my own boss. What we say, right?
Hmm.
Now you join the course, and obviously there are some struggles at part of the process, right? As you said, Kamal, it's easy, but implementing it's hard. Yes, it is. It should be. It designed that way,
Yeah,
right? So now you have a customer. Now she or he in USA, you already dispatched.
exactly.
He moves or she moves your cars that you dispatched.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it works. Awesome. So Oz, I really want to, ask this question. Is like, why did you decide to join up level dispatching? Why I'm asking this question first of all?
Mhm.
Because a lot of people out there will be like, Kamal, there are a lot of YouTube videos, and you have a YouTube channel, and then there are a lot of you know the videos that teach this independent freight dispatching business. Like, why should I join, for example, or
Right.
why I should join like any other coaching programs? And this is the question, and this is where it comes from. Like, why did you decide to join the up level dispatching?
Okay. So the first video or the few videos I watched from you, your course from YouTube channel, I remember like in that you mentioned that you started as a carrier and you moved to dispatching in a way that the way you explained your process that gave me a lot of confidence because a person who has not only experience, who himself was a carrier, and then coming into that field of business where you found your grounds and you wanted to give to someone else the same thing. That was something like, I feel like, why not? Why not? Just jump into it. I feel like, and the whole process was pretty like, my mind just didn't think even twice. I promise to God, I was like, just I'm gonna do it. Let me do it the way Kamal, because you are experienced as a carrier, and the failures you might have seen, I believe, no non dispatcher has felt or have seen whosoever in the beginning of their course or their journey or anywhere in their journey, right? Because the loss which you fear in the beginning of being a carrier, especially first year of your MC, like it's pretty hard, like to build a relation with the brokers who don't even trust you because you don't have no history of trucking, right? So yeah, that was something like, I feel I don't want to be wait for too long for without and thinking and keep asking questions and questions and questions. Let's answer all the questions once by buying this course. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about this. Like, and obviously, this coaching program help you some way, right?
Mhm.
But I want the people to understand, right? So it helped you, but how did our coaching program help you? The people will be asking this question. Okay, joining the course, joining the program, or joining any other coaching programs or course out there. Like, how did this coaching program help you? Like, what was it? Like, is there any specific reason? What is it?
Firstly, the content was pretty clear, very straightforward. It was like, it's just you read, you understand. That's how it was. That's very, very, very transparent. To be honest, I'm not like gonna be like making up things, but it was pretty clear, clear, very understanding, and simple English, simple language used, nothing
Okay.
fancy. Another thing, how, right? Yeah, I think the way it was structured was pretty good. The way you gave the features in the course, it was, I believe, it had value for the price which we have paid. Just because of that, I'm able to like talk to you right now, lively, you know. So I don't think so each and every single person who is just watching your YouTube videos and having a vague idea of business, just independent freight dispatching business, they will be ever able to be understand everything clearly just watching those videos, because it does give an idea, but when you come into the course, it explains how you can become independent freight dispatcher with the easy slides. You can, if you are a fast learner, if even if you're not fast learner, if you want to really learn, just go through your course, I would say. And your course is a self-explanatory, that's how I can call it, you know.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about this because I know there's some people will be asking questions like, yes, it's cool you started, you are dispatching, but we want to know
Mhm.
how you started. So I think they really want to know the results you have. Okay, this is
Okay.
cool. Yes, you joined, you're working with Kamal, that's fine. But what I wanted to know is like, what are the results you got? Because results is very important. And why I say this, because as a company, we're not just providing courses.
Correct.
I want to be clear with this. We are the company teach this. It's not about course. And why I say this, because course itself is just an information, right?
Mhm.
Information in this space, it's not enough. You
No.
need to have the program must have information, where the pre-recorded videos or whatever, you go there, you informed, you know what it is. Then the implementation part, this is the key, the implementation part, which this is why we have these Q&A calls. And then the last part, I think this is the golden, this is very, very important. It's super important because it's a promotion. The third component is a promotion, meaning teaching students how to get their customers, right? It's not just one process. Marketing never stops. It's 24/7, 365. If you say, come on, I'll market and I got the customer, that's it, I'm done, I'll be dispatching forever. No. First client that I had, I dispatched for about 5-6 days, he's gone, right? Second, because I learned, second, I just improved. Right now, I'm talking, like my communication skills, my dispatching skills improved. Then I was working with him for about 7 or 8 months. Then obviously he got out of business, because of the industry. And
Mhm.
then third one I lost within a month, right? And this process is just keep happening, and you're learning, you're failing, you're learning, you're failing, you're learning. Then you get to the point where like, okay, now you feel you're comfortable, you know that you can dispatch,
Mhm.
you have up and running business. Now it's everything is clear. Cool. Let's talk about those results because people want to know your results. So then let's talk about these specific results. Like what specific results did you get with up level dispatching?
I got my clients. The major
Okay.
result I got.
Okay. Tell us like how you got them.
Okay, I utilize the learning from my course. I utilize email marketing. I utilize different strategies which was taught in the course, and through that, I got my first client, then second client, then third client, and people come and then go. Some came for some time, and then I implemented my results was pretty good. I believe it was pretty fast. Within 2 months, I had my two clients, first two clients. That's what I could say.
Awesome.
And
Tell me this real quick. How long did it take you to get these results? Like meaning get your first customer?
right after a month, I finished the course. I mean, in the first week, it took me a few days to finish, but then I was keep rewatching to attending your videos, your live Q and A's, and getting more knowledge about it. And keep setting up everything took me a month, and within like registering LLC, having a home office set up, how interesting it is initially, how motivating it is to do all these things, and it took me an entire month for to set up everything. And right after first month, first week, I set up my schedule that now this month I need at least one client. And how aggressive I'm going to be with my business, that's all up to me. And it comes from me. I mean, it's not something which anybody can do. You can just take coaching from anywhere, as you said. But at the end, what matters is how fast or how quick you are to implement, right?
Awesome. Yeah, and getting customers or
Yeah.
finding customers is just one thing, and then
Mhm.
getting them into your world is another
Yeah.
thing. Serving them, meaning delivering your
Mhm.
services, is another thing, and then
Yes.
obviously keeping them. This is very, very important. The customer
100%.
retention is very important, and nobody talks about this. It's just get carriers, and then start serving. But it's actually getting carriers is easy, right?
Yeah.
If you know the marketing,
Mhm.
meaning if you have marketing strategies,
Right.
meaning if you have tactics that you can execute on these strategies, then getting customers into your world just like that, it's easy. But what's hard is actually delivering your services
Right.
and keeping them in the game, right? Because it's a trucking. Sometimes carriers can run their businesses at loss for a couple of months.
Right.
I know firsthand. I'm a carrier. I know this, right? So January, February, maybe March, I'm running at loss, meaning it's negative. I'm not making any money, but at the same time,
Right.
I must pay my independent freight dispatchers, right? So knowing that it's very, very important. And then sometimes we get frustrated because we're not making any money. We're just paying, right, to
Exactly.
our, let's say, independent freight dispatchers.
Yeah.
But then obviously there's like disagreements and there's like frustrations. But you as an independent freight dispatcher, you need to control this. So
Mhm.
this is why the game of keeping carriers in your business is very, very important. But I think most important than that is growing your customer base,
Correct.
right? I don't know, for some reason people will think that if I get like one, two, carriers, that's it. I'm done. So I have a business, I'm a multimillionaire or something like that, right? But it's not. You need constantly generate leads,
Mhm.
right? Leads meaning people may not know your business, but they're like coming into your world like 24/7, 365, right? And then you start converting them and you start working. This is how you build your company, hiring independent freight dispatchers, and then just leveraging other people's time, and then you growing your business. This is how you do business. But if
Correct.
you're in this market just to dispatch, I mean finding loads, dispatching loads, and booking loads, you're not going to make a lot of money. Well, definitely you make a living out of this, right? You will make some money, but you can't build a business.
No.
Business is totally different world,
Mhm.
right? It's very, very important. Cool. Us, I really want to talk about, you. We personally trained you. You have results, which is amazing. I think you are the inspiration to other people. So I see, questions coming in. We'll just, jump into questions before I go there. I really want to, recommend you to carriers out there, guys. If you want to work, if you're a carrier, and specifically, I know, Oz. He's a pretty nice guy. He's very professional. Is what I can tell. So he's very professional, and he um, offers his services. And by the way, his company name is MBM Dispatching. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's minute by minute dispatching.
That's
He's
right.
very, very, and again, total transparency here. People, if you're a carrier, you must work with the Oz.
Mhm.
So he works with the limited customer though. So he has he narrowed down his market, and this is part of the training. He narrowed down his market. He works specifically with, you know, um, car haulers. So car haulers, for those of you who don't know, is just basically moving cars from one point to another point. So he said that he's passionate about cars. This is why he, focuses on the car haulers. So I'll just, quickly display his email address so that you can contact with us. His is in the email address info@mbmdispatching.com. And again, if you're a carrier, just shoot an email. He will help you. This is what I know, right? So you guys been following us, this total transparency, total honesty. So he's the guy that you want to work with him. And again, there's his website. I'll share with you guys in a minute. Let me pull his website. So here is his website. And again, it's the go.mbmdispatching.com. So you just go there and fill out the quick form, put your name and email address, and Oz will reach out to you. And then what will happen? And by the way, there is a brokers list. There's a high-paying brokers list that Oz, generated these brokers so that you can leverage them. So he puts in a list. You just opted in for this list, so he can send it to you. And then there's an appointment. I highly recommend schedule an appointment. And here is why appointment is, it's very important, is because he will have the chance to dissect your business into smaller pieces so that, he will see where you have problems and, start helping you. And obviously, if you're looking for an independent freight dispatcher, here's the guy, right? So here's his email address. Awesome. Let's take some questions. I think maybe people will have, some specific questions, but let me see. I do see, questions. Let me pull this. Let's see. So George says, what do you know about car hauling? This is a specific question. What do you know about car hauling, Oz?
Well, I believe it's like a pretty. It would be a huge summarize if I keep go in detail, but I just want to keep it again short and concise. And I would say car hauling is more like not only about moving cars from A to B. It's all about like even taking care of like hauling it safely and securely, and with the satisfaction not only to the to yourself but also to broker, to shipper, and to your dispatcher, because it's really important when you are hauling cars. It's a huge risk in which you are hauling, so you are the foremost person which we need to be like taken care of. And plus then the next thing comes that our shipment should be done successfully. And yeah, there are a bunch of load boards which we utilize in order to dispatch for car hauls, you know.
The specific load board for
Uh-huh.
car haulers is Central Dispatch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Central
Awesome.
dispatch, super dispatch, and rest, you know, you join with brokers and then they have their own load boards. Then yeah, it's
Awesome, cool. So by car hauling, guys, and again, let me hide this real quick. But by car hauling, so we started at car hauling, and this is what I'm talking about. So basically, Oz dispatches these cars. So then his carrier will have truck and trailer, and then he will be using load boards to dispatch, and then find a load for the specific, let's say, customer, and then this is what it is, right? Cool.
Right.
So let me get back and then pull this question. Okay. And let me see. I'm terrified with starting. And this is very common. People really terrified starting. So I want to start. I want to start. But that day never comes for some reason. Right. So I think this first step is, I think, always the hardest part. So keep, the questions coming in. So we'll take, those questions. I see a lot of good questions. So I'm terrified starting. Why? Because I have been dispatching my husband, who is an owner operator for years. So he is an owner operator. Like, you have your husband already. You terrified. We need to get clear about this. You terrified starting your own business, right? So you have a customer right there, right? So you have your husband. He's an owner operator for years. Why don't you start your business and offer your dispatching services to your husband or people like him, right? Awesome. So let's take this. I'm in the up level dispatch group. I watch all the Zoom and videos, but I'm still stuck at Go. So, well, you need to take action. This is how you will feel this like like accomplishment. So if you just stay there and just you consume content, it's not going to work. Yes, as I said, and other people, yes, there's a great content, but if you're not implementing, then you just basically like you use it or lose it. That's what it is, right? You need to implement. That's what it is. So the Q&A calls, obviously the live Q&A calls Mondays and Thursdays. I'm there like live. I'm taking questions like this. It's live. Like I'm talking to Oz right now, and I have students. They're asking questions. Like, ask questions. Like, if you need, like, come on, like, what would be the first step? It's actually in the training. But if you're still confused, I'm there like live. I'm taking your questions. Let me know. So I have my flyers, everything ready to go, but I haven't moved. I think this is the core problem you have. What would you say, Oz? So she
Well,
has everything, flyers and
mhm.
everything ready to go, but haven't moved. What do you think?
Does she have a website?
Oh, that's it. That's a really good question. Okay, that's you. By the way, Oz, he builds websites. So if you need like build a website, as you saw his website he built himself. So if you need some help with that, ask Oz. So yes, there are a lot of questions like, what about your marketing strategy? Like, well, first of all, do you have a marketing plan?
Correct.
Okay, so then what are the strategies you trying
Mhm.
to implement? And then, okay, what are the tactics? For example, marketing plan is like leveraging social media. Then, okay, what are the strategies? Are it paid ads or free? Meaning
Mhm.
organic outreach.
Right.
So if it's paid, it's totally different world, totally different strategy, totally different tactic. But
Mhm.
if you say no, I will be leveraging groups, it's free, I'm not going to spend any money, then tactics will be totally different. There's
Right.
some series of steps that you need to take to bring customers in. Okay, awesome. So let's take this. Azad Bek says, we all wanted to talk with you via Zoom platform as well. Is it possible? Yeah, absolutely. There will be. So we do this the on Thursdays, on Fridays, it's a live coaching. So join the Facebook group. So link will be below this video once we just upload this or finish the live video. So you will see that there will be a link for the group. You just join the group, and then you can ask questions as well. Awesome. So let's take this. Hi, I'm new to this chat, but as LW, I know exactly where you're coming from. I'm in the same boat. Like, don't be disappointed because when you're starting out, and obviously this is something new, right? As Al said, I faced a lot of challenges. How you go about these is like just you take actions. I've been there. I was terrified. Right? I didn't know. And again, guys, for those of you who don't know, like I'm an immigrant in this country. I didn't know any English, right?
Right.
Like zero English, like no English. I started learning English, then I said, okay, let me go and study. And then I drop out of the college because of the family, young family, growing family. And then I just jump into the business, not knowing anything. And most of you can relate to this. So take actions. My advice is take action. So if you know how to dispatch, right? If you build a business, meaning like structure is there, go ahead and implement. Go ahead and take actions. If you have this fear of failing, right? So what I would say this is not a fear of failing. Why? Fear in psychology, maybe you guys know, the fear is actually you have the future event, right? And you fear of that, and failing is actually in the future event, right? It's actually anxiety that you have, that you need to go over this. And how you will do this is just by taking actions. By taking actions. So let's see. Let's take this. I think this question to you. Nature says, us as a dispatcher, how do you keep your carriers happy to work with you for a long time?
Okay. Um, well, it's all up to like the foremost thing and a major thing in this business, I believe, is the strongest asset which anybody could ever have is the communication. And as a dispatcher, how do I keep my carriers happy to work with me for a long time is by just understanding them, follow up with them for each and every single scenario, each and every single circumstances, or any point they need my help. 24 hours, I should be available for them to answer any of their questions. I shouldn't let them panic in any kind of situation because things happen, and we all should be ready for that. And there isn't going to be any time like when you are going to have each day happy day, or every day is going to be like something new challenging. And we're not you, but the most you will see your carriers are into sometimes their trucks break down, they are frustrated. So how you handle them and how you provide them the solution, that's the only thing you keep them happy. A person should be, or a dispatcher should be, solution focused, and that's it.
Awesome. Awesome. So I hope it helps. So let's see. So let's take this question and try to help. In your video, I would say previous video, dispatching training, there enough information to earn first money. Question is not clear. So maybe it's in a statement. Maybe you might saying that, hey Kamal, you have these previous videos that there are a lot of information or enough information to earn the money. I might agree or disagree with that, but it depends on a person, right? So if you take information, let's say online or watching YouTube videos, and then you feel comfortable, and then you go implement, then obviously you can do that. But what I teach is obviously it's not earn your first money. What I teach is not about money. Maybe some of you get confused about this, but it's not about money. It's what I teach. Us as an example, it's serving others. Why? Because money is a result. Money will come anyway. The first, be the first or second or whatever, but you need to serve people. It's not about money, right? I'll be total transparent, with you guys. So I started just serving other people, right? And then I realized that making money that way is easy. Then just go and then start this, what is it, the pitching your services to other people. You just need to bring value. So if I see that, if you see I'm bringing value, don't you read that you will make, easier decisions to work with me? The same thing. It's not about money. It's about, serving other people. So I think, Oz, this is a question to you, maybe to me. So if that question to me, then yes, I invested thousands of dollars. I would say hundreds of thousands of dollars in Facebook ads. But if it's this question to Oz, what's your take on this one?
Well, I believe everybody should try things and see, feel the results if it's a positive or negative, and accordingly make a decision. But don't expect like with $100 or $200 putting ads within the first week you will see the result, because engine is something like search engine, or you call Facebook social media platforms. Algorithm takes time to take you or your advertisement and show it among their customers or among the prospects. So I would say it's just all about patience. Yes, it does work, but not for each and every single industry. And again, this is how I differentiate among two of these things, like Facebook ads and SEO, which means Google ads, you can also call it. So I would say Facebook is really important to have for your business, very important, because it's branding. And but does it generate sales? That's again depends on how much you invest in the ads. But yes, it does generate sales, but again, it depends, as I said, on the money amount of money you invest in it, and more organic reach, as Kamal has mentioned, and that's what we promote in the beginning. That organic should be organic. Follow as many groups as you can, and reach out to people, write them in messages, talk to them personally, get to know them, and that's the way to build a relation to and to it's better to do organic rather than ads in the beginning, at least, right?
Yeah.
And I would say rest Google ads is another option where you can see a good results, but again, that's way more expensive.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend anyone to put any kind of or tie your money, because it's we all work hard for money,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. And I want to add to that. This is an amazing. But with Facebook ads, this is where you make your decisions. Like if you're starting out, at least what we teach, Facebook ads, no,
Mhm.
right? As I said, what we teach is organic outreach, meaning you get customers without spending money. Once you start, dispatching, when money comes in, then you can leverage some of the revenue that comes into your business. Then you start investing in Facebook ads. But the rule of thumbs that we have is don't spend a single penny on a Facebook ads or any ads, paid ads, if you're not generating at least 10 to 15 or 20K per month,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
10, 20K, meaning 10,000, 20,000 per month with your business, then you can invest in Facebook ads.
Mhm.
Facebook ads, though, is when you want to scale your business. When you're like, okay, I build a business, I have the team of, I don't know, 10, 15 people. Now you scale, right? So now you scale, pay as much as you can to Mark Zuckerberg so that he can send you their customers. Then you convert them, right? So
Right.
this is how it works. Don't spend a single penny. So if you're not making any money with your business, and why I'm saying this is because people will get confused about this. Well, I think it logically makes sense. If I don't have a customer, then I need to market my services so that I can get carriers. Well, Facebook ads, it's a rapid growth, rapid scale, but at the same time is expensive. But what I want you to do is that start generating some revenue, leveraging other techniques and strategies, then implement the or leverage the Facebook ads so that you can scale your business. Hope that helps. So I will take this question. Ebony says, I'm frustrated due to the feeling this market is oversaturated. This is one of the common questions. What are your thoughts, Oz?
It's true. It is oversaturated, and people like it's very hard. As I said, challenges. That's the most challenging part. Now it's up to you how you put yourself in the market and how you deal with the brokers or with the shippers in order to get a good well-paying loads, right, for a carrier. And I believe there is going to be worse days than that, to be honest, because there are people who are looking for like becoming into being into this logistic industry or carrier, being in trucking industry. So I would say it's just what value you put into it, and the communication, how you negotiate the prices. On that basis, I believe you can stand out in the market with
Yep,
your. It takes time. Again, it will take
absolutely.
time. Right.
I'll add this.
Mhm.
What I think, I think, well, if I agree with you, it's oversaturated. When you say oversaturated, what do you exactly mean, right? So we can go in different routes with this
Yeah.
saturated thing. But what I can say, there are a lot of independent freight dispatchers. There are a lot of dispatchers working in office, dispatching trucks for carriers. Yes, I agree with you. But what we are talking about is independent freight dispatching. So we're not. These are the two different things. Why and how they're different? Dispatcher, meaning he or she works for a carrier. This is an employment opportunity. That independent freight dispatching is a business opportunity, right? So when you say, okay, Kamal, I mean independent freight dispatcher space oversaturated. I disagree with that, right?
Yeah.
So if let's say if I agree with you, then think about like carriers. How many carriers out there do you see? How many new MCs each day, right? So you get to the FMCSA and then you see there's a list of there's hundreds of new MCs, meaning new carriers come in, right? Hundreds of thousands of people going into this business. But at the same time, did a lot of businesses fail, right? A lot of people fail this. Business is not for everybody, but it's the opportunity for everybody. Don't take me wrong, but it's not for everybody. Meaning the execution, like actually doing the business, right, or staying in the business, right. I have a lot of friends that we go into the market, meaning independent freight dispatching, and I see that within 3 to 4 months they just gave up. I can't find customers. How many in us? He know this, and we discuss this in details in the coaching calls. Us, how many students, right? You see that they will be like they will be giving up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not working for me. It's not that the processes or the framework's not working,
Hmm.
but it's just it's easy to give up. So you just gave up, and then a lot of people out there who is starting independent freight dispatching business. Well, I will share you this. I have about like 14,000 students collectively joined free courses, entry level courses in the coaching program, and I have about 14,000 students, and I have less than 100 people in this business making a lot of money. See that? It's huge. Yes, there are people want to learn, and when people going into like independent freight dispatching business, some people just going into like just to test the water and see what happens, right? If that person, don't come to me, right? Don't say I will test the water. No, 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 no. You can just watch videos, do whatever you want. But if you're serious, then you can come in, then we can do some business, right? Cool. So those are the thoughts that we have. Okay, Mehdi says, is it legal for a dispatcher to have more than one carrier? There is a video that I did, I think about like a couple weeks ago. I would say about a month ago. It's just a full video. It's an about hour long. Just go there and watch that video. It will help you a lot. So let's take this Facebook user, hey Kamal and the gentleman, which is Oz. What is the process of organic marketing and how to keep up with so many groups against many competitors in organic marketing? Great question. So here's my take on this one. The organic marketing, Oz, he used a different strategy. Yes, he used some Facebook, but he uses what we call is the email marketing. The competition, this word, this term comes every time when I start a conversation about the independent freight dispatching. Guys, competition is actually good, right? So competition is actually good, but Oz said join many groups. This is his personal opinion. I'm not against that, right? So you can join, but what I would suggest, join fewer groups, right? That is targeted. You're not joining groups like they're shippers, they're the carriers, they're like independent freight dispatchers. No, you specifically join in groups for carriers, owner operators, right? Then what you're trying to do is that, let's say you join 4 or 5. Well, I would say it all depends on the member size, right? So if you say I join like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, 30 groups, and each has about, I don't know, 300 or 1,000, or this guy has 6,000, but join 2 or 3 that has about 20, 30,000 group members in it. But most important than that is how you start the conversation, how you deliver the value. It's not about pitching your services. There is a strategy. This is how you differentiate yourself from other, as you said, many competitors in this organic marketing, with your strategies, with your tactics. This is how you differentiate yourself. Cool? Okay, Oz, I think this will be one of the questions for you. I'll take this and then you finish because you are outside the US, okay? What are the taxation if you open an LLC, if you live outside the US, for example, you are outside the US, And if any, how do we avoid them? So here's my take. Then, as you finish with your thoughts, because you are outside. So first of all, you're not avoiding taxes. This is my, this I highly recommend. You're not avoiding taxes. You are paying taxes. There's a legal way of doing this, right? So the second important thing that us and me, this is a quick disclaimer, we're not a lawyers, we're not a CPAs. This is just for educational purposes. What I mean by this is that you just take this information and you make your own decisions, right? And what we recommend is that you get a CPA. I know Oz will talk about this. He talked to CPA. Whatever we want to do, he talks about, he discusses this with his CPA, right? CPA, talk to your CPA, say, hey, I'm outside the US, I'm building a business in the US. What about the taxes? Why I'm saying this and why it's so important, because United States will allow you to, create businesses if you're outside the US, but it's the US interest. Why? This country gives you the opportunity to build a business in this country, right? It's a land of opportunities. Why? It's because of the taxes, right? So this country will give you the opportunity to build a business, and please pay your taxes, right? And there's obviously the legal way of, you know, getting around this taxes. And again, see, I don't have a knowledge in taxes. There's professionals out there. Reach out to them and talk to them. But if you're creating a business in the United States, pay your taxes. Talk to your CPA. But if you say, Kamal, I'm okay with that, but what I'm talking about is like if I'm in Canada, meaning I'm outside the country, I'll just give you an example as a Canada, how I go about taxes. Let's ask Oz and see what he says.
Okay, thank you so much, Kamal, for this question. But I believe, as you said, this would be a very great question for a CPA, and I highly recommend like they should consult their CPA for any taxation purpose, because that's something very legal and which we don't take any responsibility for. So, but again, if being living in Canada and working in states, you do have to pay taxes, but how it's in your country, that totally depends where you are coming from and where you live. So as I said, as you also mentioned, discussing with the CPA would be the best option for this one. And that's what I want to say about this question.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. So um, I think he also says that, like, I live India, so he's from India. And he says, I saw Wyoming has no corporate income tax. I think he says tax. Yeah. So, and again, different state, different rules.
Mhm.
Talk to your CPA. I would highly recommend talking to or consulting with small business attorneys. Always look professional help, right? So we're not just jumping around and testing waters. No, we take things seriously. This is a business, right? So I see one of our students. This is Kevin, Facebook user, your student on Back to Business. Kevin, welcome back. And this is one of the. I think this is the Kevin. He's the great example. He never gives up. This is what I know about Kevin, right? Yes, he struggles. He messages me, but I see him a lot. He's participating, but he never gives up, even though it's not. I think he has the full time job, but he's trying. But he never gives you know yeah. So I see questions coming in. Let questions come in. I'll take a couple of more questions, and then we will end the live training. Yeah. So never gives up. Kevin is the guy. Welcome back, Kevin. Awesome. So, and again, guys, I maybe you missed this. There is an email just for us. If you and again, I see that I am. Let me see. There's Ebony says you will be reaching out for the website. So Oz, he builds a website. So if you need help, so you can email. I'll pull up this real quick. There you go. This is Oz email. He builds a website, but at the same time, he is an independent freight dispatcher. He one of our students. We personally taught him, and he's a great guy. I highly recommend. And again, if you guys, if you are a carrier specifically in car hauling business, reach out to us. So us, in closing,
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you would like to share about, I don't know, about this industry, about mentor, about up level dispatching, whatever? It's just a couple of minutes of yours,
Mhm.
just final thoughts, and we'll wrap up this live Q&A.
Definitely. Like, first, I would like to thank you for inviting me for this for this live call, and it's my pleasure and it's my actually honor to attend this call. To be honest, it's been such a great experience for me learning from such an experienced and well knowledgeable person,
Thank you.
coach, who have been like with us for the whole journey, not only until the journey, even after afterwards too. So I personally enjoyed so much and respect Kamal so much, and he's such an amazing person. I know him besides business as well. He's amazing. Just I love the way the course is and everything is done. I highly recommend everyone whosoever in the earlier stage and who feels like they are stuck somewhere, they have a lot of questions. Please join Up Level Dispatching. It is the best course you will ever find, and I don't get paid for promoting that, but yes, I personally enjoyed that, and that's where I am right now. Whatever I'm doing, I'm 100% full time working on my business, independent freight dispatching, and I'm growing. I'm growing, and we are like doing pretty well just because of Kamal, and I thank you for him for everything to him. And everyone is going to face challenges. Don't give up. Just find a way. As Kamal said, giving up is pretty easy, but maintaining what you have built so far would be very challenging. Will be very challenging. Just get ready, get your heads up, and just keep moving forward, and finding ways to tackle all the hardships, and it will pay off at the end, 100%.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, Os. Thank you for the kind words. But again, we can have, I don't know, world class coaching program, and there a lot of will be there will be, I don't know, amazing mentors and coaches. But I think the most important part of this is the student, actually, right? The student, it comes into our world and then goes through the training and then start implementing. And again, guys, I don't want you to like spend some money, hard-earned money, and then invest into the courses if you're not willing to put action, right? So action is the number one thing, the implementation, right? So you learn, but then you start implementing. You will learn this loop of like learning information is not enough. You just go into this loop and start consuming and consuming, and you get used to it, and you never take actions. And this is so frustrating, and obviously you're not moving forward, right? So any coaching program or any courses out there, even with YouTube videos, whatever helps you to get there, meaning that the business that you want to have, it's all about the first action. You need to take some serious actions, I would say massive. If you are really you have this fear of you know I don't know, failing, but I think you should fail, right? You should fail. I failed a lot. This is how you learn. This is how you become world class and learn, and then go out there and help people, help them drive, or give them a lot of value. And the money is the result. The money, you will make money anyway, right? Awesome, Oz. I thank you, and I thank the our subscribers and audience out there. Thank you for great questions. So we will do these case studies that we have a couple of students, and I'll just bring them, we'll do live something like this. So they have implemented different strategies. They will be different strategies with you guys. Awesome, thank you, and let's meet on Friday with the live Q&A calls, and then we'll go from there. Thank you.